Hello and welcome to the Card Captor Chronicler. I'm Animich here with Bran.
Aye.
MD.
The quest for all time.
Moogle.
Card Captors.
And Specs.
They call me Wet Grandma.
And we're talking about The Lock!
Look, okay, so we've just watched an episode of Cardcaptor Sakura, or Card Captors as it's known in English-speaking territories, in which nothing happens. The card that we're talking about today, the Lock, doesn't do anything except get unlocked and then get card captured. And that's basically the entire episode. This reminds me of our last episode, Pierce Hedgehog, which got sent out into a bay fight and then just exploded itself without doing anything. You didn't even see the bay spirit that lived in that Beyblade. Mitch, what's going on here?
Number one, I don't watch the episodes beforehand. And number two, I go through a list of all of them and I think, that sounds funny and stupid. Pierce Hedgehog and the Lock. So, but imagine if the Lock was in a JoJo's episode, you'd be fucking shitting your pants. You'd be like, this is the best, most creative fight ever. Who would have guessed Jotaro had a key all along that would have just worked?
Who would have guessed that Jotaro completely forgot about the key that is hanging around his neck when someone earlier in the episode said, what if we had a key? Like, your entire defining, like, character trait as the card captor is you have a key that turns into a wand that can be used to capture cards.
And
Why would you forget that? And a broom. Awful episode.
Let's talk about the episode the Lock is in, and maybe a bit more about Cardcaptor Sakura, because I know we talked a lot about its changes or whatever. Maybe it should be a bit about the general presentation of the show as much as it is the Lock itself.
Well, everyone sure is gay, huh?
Everyone's very gay and very sarcastic, which is still gay. So,
I think Sakura sounded sarcastic because they told the actress, you have to fit the flaps no matter what. Regardless of your performance, you have to make sure that your speaking matches with the mouth movements, or else the
I'll
kids...
make you eat those words.
I do not believe that they had the woman sat there in a booth, like, mouthing along to the words until she got it right.
They did. Well, no, they did it first take. That's why it sounds so bad and unnatural. Yeah. But she had to make sure she hit the flaps beat for beat. Yes, that's why it sounds like that. That's why most anime sounds like this from back then when it was done.
Wow, you're such a good cook, Maylin.
Maylin, you're such a talented cook.
Wow, you know a lot about strawberries, Julia.
Wow, you know a lot.
So, based on what we saw, we can assume that the Lock locks things, right? Is that crazy? Is that far-fetched? I think it's a reasonable assumption.
I mean, we didn't see that happen, so can you really make that assumption?
Yes, I
can. Locked in a room.
The door.
They literally were locked inside because of the lock, so the Lock can lock rooms.
According to the Cardcaptor Sakura wiki, the Lock is able to lock almost anything, also preventing their unlocking by conventional means. Lock can seal off rooms by magically shielding any and all exits, such that they cannot be penetrated. Or
exactly.
destroyed.
So you couldn't, like, just break the walls down.
Break the walls down!
Create a protective shell.
If you're theoretically able to teleport, I wonder what happens. Do you think you just get fucking, like, gibbed as soon as you land?
The room just moves with
you could teleport out.
We'd have to try it. I mean, one of us has to try it, I guess.
I'll do it.
Okay, good. Does she ever use this thing? I don't think she ever uses this thing.
It's one of the cards she, like, tries to batch turn into Sakura cards, and it all goes wrong. You remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes up once in episode 53, and that's, like, it.
She probably manages it, and then I think she, like, gets massive fatigue and almost fucking dies, if I remember correctly.
Well, one of them goes rogue when she tries to transform.
Was this just filler episode?
Yes.
Like, what?
I mean, it's probably in the manga. I'm assuming it's in there somewhere.
So there were 19 original ones, and I don't think this was one of them.
Oh, interesting then.
Yeah.
It's just filler.
I mean, come on, it's filler. That's not even a question. There's no way you can look at that episode and go, yeah, that's plot relevant.
Well, we learnt a lot about strawberries and about how Julian likes strawberries, and also her little guardian beast that I can't remember the name of likes strawberries.
Everyone
Yeah.
likes strawberries.
Everyone
Who
in
doesn't
Japan
like
likes strawberries.
I never even heard of this show. Now I've watched one episode, and I very much understand the inner workings of this world. And
You've never heard of
Everything.
Cardcaptor
I've
Sakura?
not. No.
Wow.
What?
What were you watching?
I don't know.
What poorly dubbed anime were you watching?
None.
Something
I didn't
racist,
really
probably.
watch anime as a kid.
Wow.
I literally watched zero anime as a kid.
How are you friends with us? You watch Pokemon? That's anime.
Not really. I actually didn't like the anime.
What?
I hated how not like true to the games it was. And I hated how they said their names.
I don't understand who Bran is anymore.
I guess this is just what happens when you have a series about cards that do various different things, is that you're gonna have some clunkers.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that it could have been a cool idea. You're locked in a room. How are you gonna get out of the room?
Yeah, but like it wasn't. So
I wonder how much got cut from the original, and whether the original had any more relevant stuff. Because
We probably
there's
should
a
have watched
couple
the
of-
sub like after we watched the dub. Just to
Let's
couple
watch
of-
it now.
There's a couple of
Tutta la scuola in allegria.
Rivela la tua vera potenza!
Con lo zaino di Sakura e il suo nuovo schienale traspirante Biomechanic.
Trasformazione!
Scopri il peso delle formule magiche e mettile al posto giusto.
Sprigiona i tuoi poteri!
Con i quaderni, l'astuccio e il diario. E alla magica trasformazione ci pensa il matitone. Con Sakura scopri la vera magia della scuola incantata. E in tutti gli zaini trovi subito l'invincibile Sakura.
Giochi preziosi.
Tutte a scuola con Sakura.
wow, that was so gay.
I'm willing to bet that nothing got cut. I'm willing to bet it just was a fucking filler episode. Like,
Yeah, I bet
what?
there was some undertones or whatever. We pointed out when Lee was giving strawberries to Julian.
The episode was 20 minutes no matter what. Anime doesn't really run for that fucking long, so.
I mean, they probably cut 10 minutes of hardcore anal sex between the two guys. You know?
They couldn't have
I know where it
stretched
is, so
this
don't
out
worry.
to 2 episodes, you know? They couldn't have, like, inserted more scenes of gay tension.
They should have had them, like, slowly lose their minds inside the room, like, start fighting each other. One of them, like, eats the other, and then, like, the door finally opens. They're like, you guys have been in here, like, 10 minutes. What are you doing?
Yeah, that would have been good.
They could have tried using their other powers to try and get out, and then it just like bounces back at them, and they gotta
Well, they-
avoid it.
They did
Lee
do
says
that. They threw
immediately,
it.
like, you can't do that, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
They
well,
threw-
thanks Lee for removing all the fucking trepidation.
Yeah, it would have
The-
cost money to animate.
How it goes.
Good old
It's a
main
filler
character.
episode.
They threw a chair at a window, like
She was really
Not
like,
just
we
the
are getting
chair, the solid steel chair.
it was
the
By
folding
God.
chair. By
By
God.
God.
So, what's your guys' favorite card?
I don't remember this show because I last watched it when I was like 10.
There's so many cool ones, but there's also a lot of shitty ones.
Hold on, Mitch.
Yeah.
Did you go through the Wikipedia entry for all of the cards in this? And, like, you looked at the top of this, the lock. Right above where it says the lock, it says, sorted in Clow Cards, cards, never used cards.
Where does it say that? Oh yeah, it does say that. I didn't see that.
Oh no!
Should we watch a different episode?
No,
No.
this is fine.
There's some pretty cool cards amongst the list. Like,
I think Shadow's pretty iconic.
Shadow's a
Let's see
very good
what.
episode.
Yeah, Shadow's iconic. Let's see what
Um,
else are in the never.
Thunder
used
was pretty
cards.
good. Thunder's a pretty good episode. Mirror's pretty good. Like,
Mirror's good. I like the maze. I like the loop,
Yeah, the loop. That's a good episode.
the change.
Like, there's some pretty good episodes, and this ain't one of them. The Big, just because of its name,
Mr. Speaker,
Mr.
we are
Speaker.
for the big.
We are for the Big.
There's also the little.
Do we want to talk more about how they cut all of the gay content from this show?
Content.
It's
I
a
never
lot.
alluded
Well-
to it, but I didn't
Pretty
know
well
until
known.
today. But
Oh, you didn't?
yeah, I'd never gone back to this after I was a kid, so like I never kind of made that connection that something was a bit weird.
So for the ones who haven't watched the show, those two guys, Sakura's brother and I guess his name is Julian in the dub, are in fact gay. They don't start it, but then I think her brother like realizes that he's totally into him, and then it it gets plot from there. So
It's a super gay show. Like the creators, I think Clamp, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're just Fujoshis. They're just big Fujoshis.
oh, I love Clamp. They do not fuck around. They're just
They
like, you
really
know what? I love it.
Like they aren't overly into to lesbians because like they cuck every single lesbian character they create. But
Yeah.
like gays, they're well into that. Absolutely.
Is this
Like-
gayer than Sailor Moon?
Ooh, yes.
I think it is.
It is
As a
gay
fan
to
of
say
both,
that.
I think it is. Here's Clamp, by the way. I just want you guys to understand.
It's all
like-
it's all ladies, if I remember.
yeah,
correctly.
yeah.
It's all girls. It's all ladies.
They're not even young. I expected them.
No.
Is this wet at the time, or is this now like they've
this is
grown
probably
into
probably now.
older Fujoshi?
That's 2006.
That's
Okay.
it's not that long after this, to be honest.
I
But that-
guess, given, yeah.
But that's all. But all four of them are still like in it. So.
Oh yeah, they're still going.
But like it was like a big group. It wasn't like a big group. It was 11 members. It was an 11-member group of
Yeah.
women just making this shit.
Yep. I think it's gayer than Sailor Moon on the basis that Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus are very, very gay all the time, but it's just two characters.
I don't know about just two characters. It is
I'm trying
definitely.
to think I'm trying to think of the other.
The other
characters
sailors
that-
have a lot of like
You think
gay
there's some tension
undertones.
there? Okay, I can accept this.
Absolutely, they're like obsessed with Usagi.
What is it with women in manga like writing specifically male gay relationships? Like it
Is it
seems to be
top?
such a big genre, like the
Yeah.
Fujoshi bait, like male on male, female author. It's
It-
targeted at women as well. Like it's not targeted at men, that sort of thing. It's targeted at women also, right? Other women who want to read about male on male relationships.
Boys on boys are cute. Cute boys loving cute boys. I don't know,
I
it
think
seems
the-
pretty. It seems pretty simple to me. It's not anything crazy.
The thing where it gets a little bit strange in Cardcaptor Sakura, I think, is every single character of the main cast, at least, is like between 10 and maybe 14 or 16. Like they're
Yeah.
almost all between those ages. So, yeah.
I had a pain in the ass trying to find the dub of this. I thought it would just be simple, but there were multiple fan dubs and redubs of the show before we eventually found the one that was initially released in the 90s.
Late 90s,
Yeah.
yeah. Late 90s, early
Uh,
2000s.
One of the I just clicked the first episode of one of the fan subs. Julian and the brother are called husbands in the
Fucking Christ.
by Sakura,
Unsurprising.
because they live together.
They live together.
Yeah,
Do they?
I don't know. They were both in the same
I'm
house.
trying to think to remember the plot of the original series, and it's possible that by the end, because spoilers, Julian ends up as like a magical being who doesn't actually have parents or family or anything else. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does just move in with Sakura and her family. Like, nah, I can totally believe that. Also, he's a long white-haired angel. Like, who knew?
Should I
Alright,
get
so-
Craig to leave?
Yeah, and then we'll do
You can
another
get
one.
Craig to leave.
Are we doing a different
What?
series?
Yeah.
What we doing
Thank
now?
God.